Hello everyone and welcome to a new mekklord video. This time I will be playing the new Vector deck, which has been made available with the release of Vector and the newest main box Chaos Voltage. This is the deck that took me from Legend 2 to Legend 1. Yeah. So you might be wondering, mekklords, where are all the monsters? Where are all the trap cards? Where are all the cards that you actually play? This is just like the Pendulum Rebellion, I think was the name of the skill, type of deck that just put monsters in your extra and give you the free pen stuff to summon them. This is that type of deck. This is a deck where, in order to be playable, Konami had to make a couple of sacrifices. Sacrifice number one. This skill does mention Umbral Horrors, but they are not playable cards. There was never a scenario in which Umbral Horrors were going to be playable unless they got a busted skill that basically allowed you to ignore their levels, and the fact that they can't swarm the field, and the fact that they don't really have any effects worth talking about. And basically would have to be a Baron's White Shield like 3.0, because 2.0 would not have been enough. And like Star Seraph's, an archetype that has seen competitive play in the TCG and in the OCG and in Duel Links even before the release of the busted skill, there was no such thing for Umbral Horrors. So what's our skill do? We're not playing Umbral Horrors, but we are playing... Why is it so hard for me to say? Umbral Horrors. Umbral Horrors. I'm never gonna say it again. We're not playing this shit stains, but we are playing a couple of rank up spells and the card Glorious Numbers, which we can reveal any of those to get up to 2 rank up magic spell cards from a deck to our hand, and then put a bunch of numbers in both our graveyards and our opponent's graveyard. What do we do with those numbers? Well, we can revive it with Glorious Number, and then rank up using rank up magic Numeron Force into a little thingy that's going to negate everything on the field. Or we can just activate Rank Up Magic Admiration of 1000, which is going to pool every single Xyz in both graveyards of the same rank together into a big thing that can kill our opponents. So usually what we're getting with Glorious Number is like depicted on the card, the number 104 Masquerade that we can then rank up into C104 Umbral. Oh my god, I have to say it. This guy Masquerade, Evil Masquerade, which is a monster negate that also hand loops your opponent and burns them for 2000, which is kind of neat. Or we go second and we just activate Rank Up Admiration of 1000 into a Chaos Chimera Dragon, which is going to have 6000 attack, and hopefully that's enough to kill your opponent dead. In order to facilitate this gameplay, we are playing Sky Striker card. That's right, we are playing actually good cards in our deck, with Engage being a card that will draw you another Engage 100% of the time. Mecha Widowinker, just Widowinker, being a way to disrupt your opponent. Eagle Booster being a way to protect yourself, and then these cards are just there to clean up problematic fields going second. And also Darkwood Dealings, so we can draw into your stuff, because I kind of need it. So that's the deck. It is not particularly good, you know, it's very one note. You do exactly one of two things, which is set up for a turn where you can OTK or OTK, and you know, every other deck in Duel Links, every competent deck in Duel Links can just OTK anyway, and has better like disruption and interactions than you do. So this is clearly not a good deck. But it is apt to take a couple of W's every now and then on ladder. Let me show you how it's done. This first duel will be against Speedroids, a deck that has recently gotten new support and which is still bad. This is still a bad deck. I'm sorry to inform you that this deck is still not it. We are playing against a player called Get Pregnant. So here's hoping this isn't about me. They're gonna normal summon the Marble Machine, get a Taketomborg to their hand. We don't have end traps. Can't really afford to play end traps in this economy. I guess we could, but the more end traps you play, the less chances you have to open the cards that actually do some stuff, which is Sky Striker Engage and Darkwood Dealings, and more importantly, the rank up spells, which we've opened are 2 copies of Admiration of 1000. That's pretty cool. They're gonna go for a Cork Shooter into a Speedroids Scratch when pitching another marble machine into Dendaiko Duke, into activating the skill as to get a free Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, putting both together into a Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, which, when this card came out, I thought it was a recent card, but apparently Yu-Gi-Oh has a line for it. I guess Yu-Gi-Oh came out a long time ago. I'm good at the game, so I'm just going to top kick a Widow Anchor targeting the Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. I just can't enunciate today. I don't know what it is. Forcing the Spell Trap negate of this card. So I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna activate my skill. Reveal that I am thingy, get a Numeron Force, send a bunch of monsters to both graveyards, Darkwood Dealings. I'm gonna push this, activate and engage, and look, because I did this correctly, I now have 3 spells engraved, which means that my engage is just a good card. It's just a good card now. We're gonna destroy everything that your opponent controls. They're gonna get a double yo-yo. I know that Speedroid Obligate has a graveyard effect, but it doesn't work because they do not, you know, control any monsters. So we're just gonna activate Admiration of the Thousand into a Chaos Chimera Dragon. That's gonna have a fat 6,000 attack and attack directly for lethal. And this is how every game that you play going second with this deck should go. They don't always do, but this is what you should be aiming for. This is going to be against the new Utopia stuff. What? The new most broken deck of the format. Oh my god, it is so broken. It will destroy the Duel Links meta. Well, first and foremost, calm down a little bit. I'm playing on ladder. Nobody knows how to play on ladder. Look at this guy. 30 cards, 7 card extra. You think I'm scared of this guy? This guy isn't anything. This is just look, Onomat and pickup. What would you play Onomat cards in Utopia? You just play the Zexal Sages? What does ZS stand for? ZW is Zexal Weapon. What does ZS stand for? I'm gonna have to look that up actually. It's like it has to Zexal Service. And Zexal servers in Japanese. Okay. Zexal service. Alright, I guess they say Zexal service in the voice lines. Look at my opponent's board, by the way. Can we appreciate that all they did was Utopia plus Rising Sun Slash. Rising Sun Slash. You know, you could have just clicked that yellow button you use and would have gotten the same results, which is exactly 1 Utopia. And then you could have made something good with it. It's fine. Another thing, I'm just going to put a bunch of things in the graveyard. This time I'm going to activate Glorious Number in order to revive the only Masquerade, which is, you know what? This animation is really cool. Background music is also fantastic. Why does he have the rings? What are the rings for? That spell of the card is very confusing to me. Look, I drew another one of these. I am going to be able to rank up the Masquerade into Evil Masquerade. There's no way I'm going to say those words again. So, yuck. I missed the timing. This is a very fucked up thing about this card, by the way. Oh, I'm going to activate this skill, so I can't pause on this. Ta-da, it's me, Vector, cool here. Look. It pulls! Alright. When this card is special summoned, which means that if you summon it with the effect of rank up magic Numeron Force, it will miss timing. Why? Because then there's this then right there that indicates a separate effect that happens in the same chain but after, because this is silly. This is a silly card. I guess it doesn't happen if there are no face-up cards, like if there's only sets you get to pop with the Evil Masquerade, but that's never gonna happen. Anyway, look. Glorious Number. I guess I could have just activated... Wait, I didn't have enough spells in graveyard. No, I could not have activated this. Look, I have a monster negate during a battle phase and a monster negate anytime. Gonna attack my opponent. Keep in mind that the Utopia is negated at that stage, right? It can't activate it. Well, it can activate, but it's not going to resolve. Which is good for me, because that gives me an opportunity to activate the Evil Masquerade effect in order to burn my opponent for 2000 and make them discard Lightning Vortex before I go for lethal with the OG Masquerade. So what's in the graveyard? this guy, and this guy, and this guy. Yes, we don't get to see more of their spicy Utopia deck list. So there's that. Wow. The point of this duel was to showcase sometimes you have to go into Evil Masquerade. Because it is potentially lots of damage. This here replay will be against the, well, it's not new anymore, but the Odd Eyes deck that aims to make Vortex and a couple of more disruption. I thought that turn 1 setup was kind of interesting. I don't know if it's optimal. I still don't know this deck, how it works. I have the cards, I just don't bother to play it, you know? So, they're gonna do that turns. I'm just gonna watch another thing. They're playing Odd Eyes Phantom. Like, why do you... Like, there's a couple of, like, Odd Eyes cards and stuff. What justifies playing cards like Odd Eyes Phantom, who doesn't strike me as a fantastic card by any means, over, like, the OG Odd Eyes, or the vanilla one, that, or the Search Bell, you know? That's the thing that confuses me about this deck, is I just don't get what justifies playing this or that. I know this play, very classic play, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, using the Noble Dragon Magician and the Joker. That's a play that I used to make when I played previous versions of this deck. It's a cool thing. It's still a pretty cool card. Here is Synchro Dragon. Dissolver will fuse itself with the Time Gazer Magician in the extra for an Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, which is also a pretty cool card. We're gonna get Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon Spiral Frame Strike into an Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, which we're going to set. That's the part I thought was kind of neat. They're gonna pop the Odd Eyes with its own effect in end phase, and then use the Arc Pendulum Dragon in order to special summon another Persona Dragon from deck. So that's 3 points of disruption, but only 1 which works against back row. Oh no! Can you know how this one is going to end? I'm going to Widow Anchor to force the Vortex Dragon negate, which, yeah, that's the end of your ability to interact with me this game. After Burners is going to pop the Persona Dragon, which is still an issue for the big thingy that I make, and then I'm going to activate the skill, put a bunch of numbers. I guess this guy's numbers up. I should have saved this line for after the end of the duel, because it doesn't really make sense now. Oh, it's Chaos Chimera Dragon, and 6,000, but that's not yet lethal, so we're gonna get a second Window Anchor, and because I'm just good at the game, I drew Engage up of Engage. Can you believe how good I am? This will allow me to Vector Blast to return the Clearwing to the extra deck, and then get the steal the Vortex Dragon, and replace it with my very fair, very balanced scale into Masquerade. I just like Masquerade, I just think it's a cool looking, really dapper looking kind of guy, even though it turns off your Sky Striker cards, because you get, it doesn't matter because that's lethal anyway, but I thought it was a cool cards, you know? And that's lethal, everyone. I guess his number was up. Got it. And this here replay will be against DDD, another deck that semi-recently got support. I don't even remember in which box Lamia came. It was a main box. It was the previous main box. So it must have been at least 2 weeks ago, if my math is correct. So they're gonna go first. You already know this one ends. You just already know this one ends. How can it possibly end in any other way than this way right here? You're gonna Doom King Armageddon. You're gonna Staff in Kepler. You know? They're gonna normal the Kepler. Kepler is going to get them a Dark Contract with the Witch, which I personally don't agree with. They already have Gate, so I guess I agree with now. You're going to get a Lady Lamia. Lamia is going to send the Gate to the graveyard. They're going to summon it, and then they're going to put 2 of 2 together into a Formula Synchron. Just kidding, it's Ensemble Robin. Ensemble Robin into set 3 pass, one of which is the Dark Contract with the Witch, because we know the last card in hand is Doom King Armageddon. So yeah, I guess they kind of bricked. It's good for me, you know. I get to reveal Glorious Number, add Admiration of the Thousand, and a Numeron Force from my deck to my hand, and then Vector Blast to put a couple of spells in the graveyard, Afterburners to pop the Ensemble Robin, and 1 Forbidden Droplet, Darkworld Dealings, getting me a Jiming Waves, which is going to pop the second Forbidden Droplet, Glorious Number, into Masquerade! We're gonna watch the animation again. I don't care. I think this card is so... It looks so cool. It's... I really like this little thing. It's basically what a number looks like in my head. It's just a normal guy, but it looks evil. And this is what should be concerning. He's gonna melee card, but then he's gonna get popped by the Dark Contract with the Witch that we knew about. You're gonna get engaged into a Widow Anchor, into another engage. I'm just so good at the game. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just cracked. I am just fantastic. So one card, which we're going to replace with the skill activation into another Masquerade. Mekklord, why do you go for Masquerade specifically when there are monsters in your opponent's graveyard with more attack? Including Battling Boxer Comet Cestus, and Giant Red Hand, and Archfiend Seraph. And the reason for that is I like Masquerade a lot more, and chances are it's the one that's gonna be live the most often, because like this guy only works if it has Star Sisters as material. I guess the burn effect is always there, but there was nothing for me to like Flame Wingman, you know. Giant Red Hand, what does one do? It only works if it has the number of monsters exceeds material. Archfiend Seraph, it needs to use that 2 material to protect itself. And this only works if it has Star of Sentry. Masquerade, in theory, can attach another material with the glorious numbers in the graveyard, and can detach to negate a monster effect only in the battle phase. But if it does, it burns your opponent for 400 damage, which would have made exact lethal, not exact lethal, but would have been lethal in that scenario. So, I just go for the Masquerade. There's no real difference between 29 and 2700 at this stage. They're going to take 1000 to the Dark Contract of Witch, Necro Slime, the Gym King Armageddon, and the, Necro Slime into a Genghis, which is going to turn off my backer. Dark Contract of Witch pitching a Swirl Slime to pop my thingy, and then DD Lamia to removing it from the field. And Kepler is going to banish the Lamia. I don't think this is what you were supposed to do. This looks like a terrible situation for me. Just kidding, I can just activate Admiration with 1000 and they can't really do anything about it, because Genghis is not a spell trap negate, it's only a spell trap negate on your turn, which means it's completely helpless in that scenario. And look, that's the other big dragon lethal. Hey, cool, I get to have even more cards, and bam, there it is, there it is, and there it is. There it is, and there it is, and there it was. And last but not least, there is another duel against Speedroids. Wow, there's a lot of Speedroid players at the moment on ladder. I guess it is a deck that a lot of people already had, and the new support is not that complicated to get, and there's a new skill for you to play with, so that's cool, you know. Oh, this time I'm going first, so our objective is to try and make Evil Masquerade in order to get 1 negate. So we're just going to activate a couple of cards here, get an engage into Afterburners, and I guess this is the end of our turn, set to Widow Anchor's Pass. Alrighty then. Our opponent's gonna get a free Synchro Dragon, Marble Machine getting Taketombo once again. Special summoning the Taketombo pop. This is like the Speedroid part of the video where they do a cool Speedroid combo. So you can watch that, or you can watch this, which I have recently acquired. It is a Nold Magic the Gathering theme deck from Traitors of Kamigawa. And it's called Black Devotion or something. I guess in French it's called Noir Dévotion, which means Black Devotion. And they did really think the thing where you put the adjective before the noun to make it sound extra big, you know. That's a really cool chain, you know, Widow Anchor to Blizzard into Widow Anchor, and I get back the Widow Anchor. That's pretty cool. That's not gonna stop him, but that was pretty cool. Anyway, pretty cool product, you know. There's a bunch of like cards from good old Kamigawa before there was the neo cyberpunk kind of stuff. Now it's an old traditional Japanese. Look at this mountain. It's a gorgeous mountain, you know. And the cover card, of course, is none other than... Can I find it? I'm going to show you this later. Idetsugu, Heartless Idetsugu, which if you tap it, it does damage to each player equal to half of their life. Once again, I did not open any good shit, and I can't even activate my skill because I'm just going to concede here. So that was a messed up game. You know what else is messed up? This right there. This is a flip card. And you're supposed to like know in which way you played it, cause it's both ways. How do you tap that? Legit question. Magic the Gathering players that played all the way back in Saviors was in what? 2005. How are you supposed to play with that? And there's a little leaflet too. I'm gonna read that later. Yeah, this game showcased that sometimes you brick even with the Sky Striker cards. Wow, wasn't that interesting? And that was the deck. As you can see, this deck has one key weakness. Sometimes you don't draw the rank up spell that you need to trigger your skill. Maybe this can be solved by playing one less Eagle Booster, but I really like having the Eagle Booster. It can make a huge difference. Here's another weakness of this deck. It is complete ass. It's terrible. This deck is just a gimmicky one-trick pony kind of deck that competent players playing competent decks will have no issue dealing with. Fortunately, I'm not entering tournaments with this deck, I'm just playing on ladder, so these type of players are few and far between. This can steal wins against weaker decks on ladder. It is probably a fantastic deck to climb with up to, like, say, Platinum or something, when nobody knows what they're playing. But if you're going to be playing against, like, Resonators or Predator Plants, or the new Shadow stuff, this kind of deck, don't play this. Don't play this deck. That's my advice to you, is don't play this deck. It is good for farming NPCs. It is not so great for farming people in Legend. And that will be it for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of this deck in the comment of this video. And like the video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I would really appreciate that. Additionally, if you'd like to support me further, you can check out my Ko-fi in the video description, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my Ko-fi donators in the form of Dingus, Howdishboy0, Jimmy, Zinnia, Yannick, Sile, Mark, Lou, 14016, the Abisactor Guru, Orc Price, and Exorcist. Thank you all for the support. Now, I know what you're wondering. Why would I bother buying an old-ass Magic the Gathering deck from 20 years ago? Next video will probably be about another gameplay video. Maybe Nouvelle. Maybe I'll give the new Speedroids stuff a try. I guess there's also... I haven't pulled the cards for Shadow yet, but I'm not really looking forward to playing Shadow because this is a snooze fest of a deck. And of course, I will have to cover the new Utopia deck that is potentially the new best deck of this format. Who knows? I clearly don't, but who knows? Thank you all for watching this video once again, everyone. Take care, and I will see you all next time.